Hi, I'm Dylan Gowan, and welcome back to another installment of Overkill Reviews, BangerTV's weekly heavy metal review show. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our Patreon campaign. If you haven't checked out the What We Missed video that we released a couple days ago, please go in the comment section and please vote for Devin Townsend's Empath because I really want to talk about it. And also vote for Rammstein because I want to see Blaine lose his mind. This week, we are back to prog, and we're talking about one of the most anticipated albums within the genre. That's right, it's the brand new album by Baroness called Gold and Grey, out today on Abraxan Hymns. So if you're unfamiliar with the band, let me tell you a little bit about them. Baroness are a progressive metal band from Savannah, Georgia, and they've gained a lot of notoriety, especially within the 2000s, combining noise rock, sludge metal, and elements of progressive music. They're kind of like in the same vein of old Mastodon and Kalesa, but they still haven't lost touch with their sludgier roots, so to speak. Their last album, Purple, gave them a ton of notoriety with a Grammy nomination and building the band Baroness. I mean, I just see their name just keep popping up more and more every time they come up with a new release, so it's really great to see that a band that has that much talent get the recognition that they deserve. Also, this is the first time that longtime guitarist Pete Adams has left the band, and Gina Gleason is making her debut on an album release. And also, an interesting fact about her, she is a former Cirque du Soleil guitar player, which is insane. So you know that she is really, really good. With all the anticipated releases coming out within progressive metal, let's see how this album stacks up. This album starts out very, very strong with Front Toward Enemy. And it's a little bit of an odd title, but it just has so much energy. And what's great about it is that the bass is so prominent in the mix and it just adds a lot of weight to it. So you feel like the band is starting off in a much more heavier direction this time around. But then all of a sudden it just starts to change gears completely on the second track, which I'm just writing it down because I have to make sure I have all the tracks known, because, you know, in the comment section, you'll just be like, well, why didn't you mention this song, that song? I'm mentioning this now, okay? The second track, I'm Already Gone, pretty much is the polar opposite to the first track. It shows the two contrasts of the band, how they can start off with something that's in such high energy, and then all of a sudden pull it way back and just have a more laid-back groove. As a prog fan, one thing that really makes me appreciate a band more is just experimentation, especially on a track like Seasons, where it starts off with this kind of drum and bass-esque pattern, and then it slowly builds and builds and builds towards the heavy fuzzy guitars and overly distorted bass, and gets into this blast beat section. I love it how the track keeps building on these layers. These guys are very strong songwriters and how they're able to build a track and keep you interested throughout. Tourniquet is another great example of this, how it combines the psychedelic intro and then adds elements of shoegaze and new wave music. Almost like U2 with Death Heaven Once, and then you throw those elements into the mix. But anyways, I digress. It just shows that the band is able to blend all these different styles seamlessly, and it makes for a more interesting song arrangement. Throw Me an Anchor, Borderlines, and Broken Halo are easily reminiscent of old Baroness, with the overall distorted guitars, the shouting vocals, and the kind of blend of noise rock, sludge, and prog. Some of these riffs remind me of old Mastodon and Kalesa, but they do it in their own style, which is very much appreciated. I Do Anything is arguably the ballad on this album. It kind of has this piano that's heavily reverbed and just really clean-cut acoustic guitar, but somehow Baroness are able to make a ballad not sound like a ballad. That will only make sense if you listen to this album. All the more reason why to buy it. Cold-Blooded Angels and Pale Sun pretty much sum up the album direction that Baroness is going into this time. Great experimentation, has all these great parts, shows intensity, shows groove. Despite all of that, there is still one thing that I just can't let go about this record. The only problem I have is the production on this album. Now, I'll admit, Baroness have never really had such a clean-cut production that you find in modern prog, but it added to its charm, especially on Blue and Red. But this time around, there's so many layers in each session that it's almost hard to hear certain parts of this album. So it takes a couple listens through to really understand all the ideas that they're putting forth within this album. Despite my minor criticism of the production, it's a great record. Gina's arrangements, her playing suits Baroness perfectly, and how Sebastian is great with coming up with very tasteful fills and hooks and melodies to get them from one section of the song to the other. Nick really holding down the fort with the rhythm section. And of course, John is literally just one of the most underrated musicians within progressive music. I really hope that the band just continues to grow and grow and grow and just be on the same level as a Mastodon or an Opeth. Overall, the band, it's a must listen for any fan of Baroness and for new prog fans as well. So that's why I'm giving this record 4 out of 5 skulls. All right, it's time for the shoutouts. Here's some great prog albums that came out today. First, from Sweden, we have Introitus with their new album Shadows, out on Bad Elephant Music. And from Italy and the United States, we have Sweet Oblivion featuring Jeff Tate, out on Frontiers Music. And finally, we have another album I've been really looking forward to for a while, which is Thank You Scientist with their new album Terraformer, out on Evil Link Records. That band is pretty much a fusion band on steroids. And if you haven't checked them out, please, 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 please check them out because they are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Feels great to be talking about prog again, and I'll see you guys next time.